Happy Sunday!
Happy Sunday.
So we're not talking about sex or
No.
anything this morning. Excuse me. Yeah, well, we did a little bit this morning.
Oh, yeah.
We had a little before the spice conversation, but nothing happened.
Don't say it like that.
We were talking about how man, I got a tickle in my throat. Can I have some water, please? Who likes smart water? What is it? Cucumber lime. We do. We're off to Pennsylvania to try and hit Eureka. Whenever hit Eureka, looking for gold in Pennsylvania. Maybe today I'll give you a little better view of what we're doing. Sometimes I get so into what I'm doing, I don't want to stop.
We don't bring our phones down there either.
And I try not to bring my phone into the water. We're not really set up to be super duper camera people yet.
No.
I mean, I want to tell you, at some point in time, I will do that and improve the quality of. But everyone stares into their cell phone all day long anyway, so what's the difference?
True.
You know, there is and there isn't. So I was talking to April. We were on 95 South, and I was saying that the you could say New Jersey workforce or whatever, unemployment agencies and all that stuff really need to address employee issues. They need to have a little handbook for the employees instead of employee code of conduct or employee manual for a business, right? That probably nobody reads until they're in trouble. But something in a small snapshot that comes with their W-2 every year that should be updated. That says, hey, you as an employee, you're entitled to certain benefits from the state and federal, blah, 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 blah.
That should exclude this.
And then it says your benefits are based on years of employment, hours worked, brief definition, and then the bad part. If you're not a great employee and you've been late to work more than the employer has
Allotted you.
outlined in their employee handbook, because I'm sure some employers like, it's okay because it's a laid-back environment or whatever the case may be. Some people tolerate it, and then other businesses don't. It's a business. We're running a business, and we need our people and our employees to be there on time to do their job. Not just on time, and not just after time, but on time, ready to work, not walk in, take your shoes off, take your jacket off, go to your employee locker, go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, walk around, smoke a cigarette, go outside, smoke a joint, whatever the case is, and then an hour later, you're back to work. And then you're on your cell phone and you're surfing the internet, you're texting your girlfriend, you take a call from your doctor. I'm sure all the employers can relate to this stuff, right? And we're all production employees in some aspects, right? You pick up the phone and answer the phone, you're a production employee. You're writing code, you're a production employee. So employees are basically mostly production-based people, or you probably wouldn't need them. Mass production, small production, whatever the case is. So if you're late to work more than the employer has written and outlined in their employee handbook, then it's on him after you have abused what they set forth for what they will tolerate for tardiness, right?
Right.
So, and then they should say your benefit will be reduced or revoked if you've exceeded being late to work, whatever the employer guidelines is. So they audit. So we'll just say, I'm the employee who's been late to work 10 times. Actually, I showed up late on my first day of work, so that's in the handbook already, right? So you got one straight. And then within 6 months, you're late 10 more times. When they say, well, why were you fired? Because I was late all the time. Then it can call the employer and says, what does your employee handbook say about tardiness? And it says, well, the employee shall not be late to work more than 3 times, it's against company policy, blah, 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 blah. It's counterproductive to the business. It sets a bad environment and atmosphere for others who want to do a good job, right? So, and then they say, okay, well, your employee, your benefit will be reduced by 80% or 100%.
Right.
You know, really like make the employee do their job today. And then the next example will be, well, how many times have you no called, no showed, right? Called out of work above and beyond your sick time, right? Because in New Jersey, you're allowed 40 hours worth of sick time in 1 year based on hours of work.
Right.
So if you take advantage of that the state has allowed, right? And say you burned up a week worth of sick time already, in the 6 months that you worked because you allocated that benefit, and then you continually are taking sick time unpaid, right? You're abusing the employer again. Health-wise or anything, you have a job to do. And then that should say, okay, this employee, you know, his benefit's going to be reduced for whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, what else should we talk about? That would be 2. Like the state, I'm saying the state really needs to make people do their job. You know, bathroom breaks, and it just seems like a plague. Not everybody has a UTI or a bowel problem or all this other stuff.
Right.
But you can only go to the bathroom so many times throughout the day, to where you're affecting your job performance, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're one employee of 100, or even 10 employees or 3 employees, one that's in the bathroom, we're just going to say this, in the bathroom, and we're not singling out anyone, we're just talking in general, that's in the bathroom for 40 minutes to an hour every day, that is not your lunch break. Your lunch break is your half hour or 2 hours or whatever the employer gives you, and then your 15-minute break every so many hours is what the law is, right?
Right.
So if you're burning up that, there should be, you know, some type of like, hey, this is outside of the normal conduct of employees. Either you have a problem that's health-wise that's preventing you from performing your job at 100%, right? This is me just saying that if I'm in the bathroom every 10 minutes, or every 20 minutes, or every 30 minutes, or every hour, or every 3 hours, whatever the case may be, something's seriously wrong and you need to be in the doctor's office in a hospital, not getting paid. Excuses for not showing up to work. My dog ate my cell phone. My dog ate my cell phone cord. My cat died. My dog ate my pants. I couldn't get up. Like the excuses, like there should only be like a certain amount of excuses allowed by law that says that you need to miss work.
Right.
It shouldn't be every effing excuse in the world that why you were late to work or why you're calling out of work. And I'm sure other employers can add to this list that the state and local laws and the federal laws need to really make the employees work. And the problem becomes this, and I'm just going to give you an example. An employee that we hired, first day to work, first day he's going to start, was late to work. It's usually a red flag, right? And then this employee comes there and you're like, okay, we're going to say they are a installer or a construction guy or whatever the case may be. And then he doesn't come to work with his tool belt and his tools every day. We're just going to use that as an example. But you're hiring him to come to work with his tools, right? You can't be a contractor and not have a tape measure, a pencil, a pen, a screw gun, like all the stuff that you need to do your job. Or you have some of your stuff there and then you take it home and you don't bring it back. Your job is to be there with your tools or your nerd calculator or whatever you need to do your job for that employer without excuse. And then you offer that employee, you know, advice on how they can earn more money. One is by bringing your tools to work or buying more tools, investing in yourself, working more hours, right? So you try and influence your employees, right? And they don't have to be influenced by throwing money at them, because throwing money at a bad employee doesn't do anything for you, right?
No.
A good employee, say a good employee to me is someone who comes to work early all the time, is involved in all aspects, trying to do more than what they already do once they've exceeded what they have done. So you're masterful at your one duty, and you show that you can multitask and do more, right? And so you say that employee's value. They're interested in what they do here and different aspects of it. And then when they're asked to work additional time, and not for free, because I know there's employers out there who ask their employees to work for free, right? Well, hey, can you come to work, but I can't pay it? Yeah, I've seen the videos and heard it. I would never ask an employee to come to work and not be paid for what they do, overtime or otherwise. So once you get to a level with an employee and you're saying, okay, well, here's how you can make more money, here's how you do better. And even if you're a teacher, like, all right, you have your skills, you have your toolbox, you have your protractor, you have your lesson book, you have their tools, right? And then somebody comes to you and says, hey, we can make this lesson better for you, right? And improve the conditions in your classroom. So this just goes for a bunch of different things.
Right.
How can they do better? How can they be more efficient? How can they become more of a valued employee? And then once you get to the point with that person, you're saying, okay, well, you still can't master what we're trying to do for you in this position. And we need you to be productive, and we work on trying to make you more productive. And then you still don't get that out of that person. Are they a good employee?
No.
Say it.
No.
No. But the employee who does do all that stuff and above and beyond are the ones that, hey, yeah, this guy's good for the company. He wants to be the ace. He wants to. That was kind of me when I went to work for somebody. I never wanted to owner to be around the business, because that's what I was hired to do, was to run the business and make it successful for them. And then I did their owner duties on top of that, because I mastered running a shop and employees and taking care of everybody and the customers. They let me do payroll, they let me do the banking, they let me make the buys and order signs and order supplies and inventory management. You understand?
Yeah.
Come to work a half hour early, not get paid for it, right? Never got paid for the time that I came in. Would come in on my days off, and I was commission versus salary as a manager, and I would come in on my day off, and I would sell on my day off to ensure that my paycheck was taken care of. Even if it was for a couple hours, I would go in during a busy time, and then they were like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm making sure that we're all making money. What else was I going to be doing? Nothing. My day off, I'd rather be making money. Well, that was just me. So the point to this story is that their employers around the world are being tortured by what the employees can get away with. And cell phone privileges, like we all have a silent cell phone privilege, or maybe some employee handbooks say 0 cell phone, because it's a distraction to everyone, right? If you're on your cell phone, that you abuse those privileges, like that's not a good employee. So I'm curious to see if this evolves at all, and it would be something to see that the employers are being protected by abusive employees. Not physically or mentally, because that goes on too. I'm just saying, just employees who abuse the system. Thanks for watching.